So what do you do when you find out your property is not performing well? Especially when it's an investment property and there has been relatively little growth over the couple of years that you've purchased the property, and it seems like the gap between the rent that you receive and the mortgage repayments with interest rate hikes are getting wider and wider and wider. And I call these type of properties investment lemons. And yes, this is a tomato. My wife forgot to put in the Woolies order for groceries, and yes, I'm out of lemons. But then tomato, tomato, whatever. So there's three forms of investment lemons or tomato. So one of them is you purchase the property. Initially, you overpaid for it, unfortunately. So it's overcapitalized. And the property equity seems like to be going downhill since when you bought it. Number two, you bought a property that is supposedly in a hot suburb, but now it's kind of underperforming. And it's actually not reaching your capital growth goals. Finally, number three, you bought a property that now doesn't align to your current property strategy. For example, you purchased a property in, for example, Queensland or WA for positive reasons, like positive gearing reasons, and you accepted that there's no growth. However, your strategy is geared towards more negative gearing, which is, growth. Perhaps your income is now over like 200K and you're sick of paying the ATO more tax. So once you identify that, what do you do with these dud properties? There's three things you can actually do. And again, guys, it's not financial advice. Number one thing I'll do is reassess the market and reposition the property. So as a smart investor, you need to reassess the current market conditions and see how you can position your property to get more value. For example, the property you bought was originally treated as a rental, but for example, market conditions have changed and it's better to do short-term rentals. For example, do Airbnb. Or maybe you can switch it to a boarding house and rent it room by room. In that way, you're switching the purpose and maximizing your gain. Number two, refinance the property. Yes, you might have a dud, but there might be equity underneath this dud. You might pull out the equity and use it for another property purchase. For example, this dud of a property is worth 500K right now. The home loan is about 350K. 80% of this is around 400K. There's basically this minus this is 150K of equity. You can use this equity to pay for the 20% and stamp duty for the next property. And number three, the last choice, sell the property. Get rid of it, sell it, get the net proceeds, whatever is left, use that to buy another property that aligns with your goals. Now, this might seem like a failure move, like you're going backwards, but it's actually a good method to minimize the loss, especially if the property is going down in value and, interest rates are increasing, your rent isn't increasing. So it might be the way to just reset and start again. So guys, jump in the comments. What will you do if you purchase a dud property? How will you do to recover it? Love to hear your comments. Let me know.